Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel, and today in this video we are going to look at how I have created this entire piece of CRUD for the customer right from the creation to this listing page step by step. So this video is part of an entire series where I'm going to build a custom CRM kind of application using Filament, and while I am doing that I'm going to walk you through all the features that are available with Filament and how Filament helps you do development at a very fast pace. So without wasting much time, let's get started. To follow this series properly, I would strongly recommend that you go through the code base which is available on my GitHub repository. Okay, and right now I am working on this particular ticket where I have these requirements. You can go and check that thing. I have linked the repository in the description below. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is walk you through the 3 commits that I have made for this particular ticket to basically be where it is. So the first thing which I have done is we will look at the migration file. The factory I think is empty as of now, the customer model and the user model. Okay, so let's get started. So the first is the migration. I will open up the migration in full view. So what do we have over here? We have the name, email and phone number field. Now in a CRM or in a CDP, I would expect any one of the contact field to be the primary thing, and generally speaking email is the easier one, so I have kept email to be a field which is mandatory. However, the phone number is nullable. Okay, and then I have a concept of a customer should have an owner, which basically means the user who created that customer, right? And that's where I am using this thing over here, which is foreign ID for, and it is going to give me a user underscore ID. Okay, now this is done. Now let's look at the other field file, which is the customer factory, which I am pretty sure is going to be empty at this point. It is, so let's skip that. We have the user and the customer models. So customer model, I will open it up. Obviously I have defined the fillable fields which are available for this model. Okay, and then we have the relationship of owner with the user model. Okay, so I'm saying that a customer belongs to an owner, and the owner is basically the user class. Okay, now there's a small mistake which I have fixed in the next commit, which is in here we will need to also define something called as the foreign key, which is the user ID. Okay, you need to do this, otherwise the relationship will not work. Then in the user model, what I have done is I have gone ahead and added the reverse relationship. I'm saying that a user has many customers, and whenever I'm loading them, I'm loading them order by descending, which is fine. I could have also done an order by ascending name, because I would typically want the name, the customer list to be in an ascending order of their initial, which I will change later on. Okay, yeah, because these are iterative things. I don't take that as a big problem as such. Okay, this is done. Now the next thing in my next commit, what I have done is, let me first clear that out. Any changes which we have done will get cleared, and then I'll check out to this version where what I have done basically is I have created a resource. Now if you're not aware how a filament resource is created, I'll show you the docs so that you are aware of things. So when you go to the panel builder, you go to resources, we get a command called PHP Artisan make Filament Resource customer, and I have created exactly the same set of files using this exactly same command. So what is happening? Let's understand. I'll clear everything else and I'll show you this resource file. So first of all, Filament works with resource files. What are resource files? So a resource file is binded to a model, and this file allows you to create a form, a table, add filters to your table, do a lot of things with that particular resource. Okay, so if you see, creating a resource for the customer model basically means I run this command. What it will do is it will create the resource.php file, it will create a resource folder, it will create 3 different pages: the create customer page, the edit customer page, and the list customer page. Okay, so you can learn a lot more things if you go through the documentation, but I'm giving you a general idea of how you can go about creating these stuff. So now in this particular commit, what happens is I have a new create customer form ready, but I haven't worked on the listing page in this particular commit. That's the next commit which we will look at. So the create form, if we look at it, so a resource file has 2 very important functions. One is the form, which is responsible for showing the create and the edit form of that particular entity. Then there is the table, which is useful for the listing of those entities. Then we have relations, get pages, and stuff like that. We will cover that later on. But yeah, now let's understand the form first. So in a form, we have something called a schema. Okay, and when you are going deeper into the forms, you need to go into this form builder documentation, and you can walk yourself through the entire documentation, but I will get you a basic gist of what things are happening. So first of all, you need to understand there are multiple fields that are available with Filament Form Builder to create your create form. And by that, what I mean is a form can have a text field, it can have a markdown field, it can have drop downs, date picker, file field, you name it, and it is there. And you can see this list is so big, right? You have a lot of things out of the box to work with. Now, if you are trying to get a little more details, I have a video where I have created a blog, a complete blog backend application using Filament, and you can find the description where I have linked that video as well. So if you are a little experienced and you feel that you can directly jump into that, you can use that video as well. But now let's get started with the basics of what I have done in this particular thing. So Filament allows us to divide our form into different sections, groups, and stuff like that. And what I have done over here is I have defined 2 sections. One is the personal information section, and the second is the metadata. The metadata is what comes in the side section, the right hand side. Okay, and if you see right at the bottom of the schema over here, right at this level, I have defined that this form is of 3 columns. And then I have given the first section a span of 2 columns, so it is a little more wider. And then the metadata column is of only 1 column. So you will see that the first section over here has a call span of 2, and this section over here has a call span of 1. And that's how I am getting my 3 columns. Then inside the section, we have the basic name, which you can see is coming over here. Then I have a small description, which I have added here just so that the form looks a little more humanly to the end user. Okay, and then we have a text field for name. This required means if I try to submit the form, it will give me that validation as well. And it is that easy. You just add one method called required and you are done. Similarly, for email, I have required an email function because it then validates whether it is proper or not. So as you can see, it does say that it is not a valid email. And then for the phone number, I have done nothing. Then if we go to the second section, which is the metadata, I have a field called owner. Now there are conditions attached to it. For example, hidden when the customer ID is null, which means when I'm creating, this will not be visible. Let me show you by creating one. So let us just say Jack Ryan, okay, jack@gmail.com .r and 12345 12345. Just create, and now we are in the edit mode, and if you see, we have the owner, we have created at, last updated at. Let's hit refresh, and it's going through the 10 seconds, 13 seconds and stuff like that. And if I edit, you will see there will be a difference in this number of seconds between the created and the updated, because obviously now the updated has changed. But yeah, the metadata also shows the name of the owner. So let's understand what is happening. So first of all, I'm trying to display the user ID. Okay, it's a placeholder kind of a field. You will see that in this we have somewhere a placeholder, or maybe I can search for it as well, because yeah, layout has placeholders, right? So I have used a placeholder to show this information. A placeholder has a label, so I'm showing that it's an owner. Content basically means what am I going to show inside the placeholder. So I'm going to show the customer owner's name. Okay, then it will be hidden if the customer ID doesn't exist, because if I haven't created the customer, then there's no owner as of now. Same goes true for my created at. The content is basically the customer dot created at field, with the difference for humans. This is the carbon object which I'm trying to play with, and I'm hiding it if the customer ID is null. And the same logic goes, spelling mistake which I'll need to fix. Right? So the content is the difference in human format from now till the updated at time, and it will be hidden again if the ID doesn't exist. Okay, so this is taken care of. Again, I will clear things out, and then let me go to the most recent commit. Customer resource. Over here, if you see, I have columns, the table thing, and I have my name, email, phone number, and then the owner.name. And owner.name will be hidden if the current user is same as the owner. Okay, that's a nice little trick, because then what happens is it doesn't show the column. However, this was only a demo purpose to make you understand that you can hide things with certain conditions. But typically I will not do that. So in the main code base, I will commit it with this particular format. It was just for you to see and understand what is happening. Now, a question may come in that I have my name, email, phone number over here, but if I go to my database, there is a field called user ID as well. And how am I populating the user ID, because the form doesn't have the user ID? Well, this is where the create page comes into picture. Let us go over here, pages, create customer. Now what is happening is when filament forms are getting submitted, there are multiple functions which we can use to override the behavior. And one such function is handle record creation. I'm not sure, maybe it is available with the create record class which we have extended. Let's try and find that. Okay, so this dot handle creation, let me click over here. Yes, so this is the function that we are overriding. record is this get model and all those logic. But what we are doing is we are running the same function. We are returning parent.handle record creation. The only thing which I'm doing is it gets the data. So it's an array, right? What I'm doing is I'm sticking the user ID over here by passing the auth user ID. Okay, and that basically takes care of the user ID that is getting populated when I'm creating a new record. So that's where Jack Ryan got the user ID as 1. Yep. All right. So that's pretty much it. That's what covers the entire functionality. I'll show you the form again in its entire working condition. So I have my listing over here. I create a new customer and I hit save. So now we are in the edit mode. And if I click over here, customer is here as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, then do click on the thumbs up icon. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell icon so that the next time I create a new video on this series or any other cool Laravel videos, you are getting the notification for the same.